When I said I do, I never imagined that my heart would one day drift. Not out of desire, but out of loneliness. Sometimes even the strongest vows can develop quiet cracks, and love begins to slip through them unnoticed. What started as just another calm morning in my bathroom became the moment that changed everything, a moment I still replay every time I close my eyes. My name is Rachel, and this is my story. When I married David, I believed I had finally found peace. He was kind, dependable, and steady, everything I thought love was meant to be. But as his demanding job kept him away for days at a time, our home began to lose its warmth. It stopped feeling like a place of love and became more of an empty shell, echoing only with my thoughts. A few months ago, David's nephew, Ethan, a 23-year-old recent college graduate, moved in with us while searching for a job in the city. He was polite, gentle, and easy to talk to. At first, I didn't think much of it. But sometimes connection doesn't arrive with a bang. Sometimes it slips in quietly, almost like a whisper, and by the time you notice, it's already too late. Ethan and I began sharing small, ordinary moments. He'd help me with the groceries, fix the squeaky window in the kitchen, or surprise me with a cup of coffee. When David was away, his presence brought an innocent kind of comfort. Or at least, that's what I tried to tell myself. We talked about everything: life, dreams, regrets. He reminded me of the person I used to be before routine dulled the spark inside me. His laughter filled the silence that used to suffocate me, and slowly, something between us began to shift. One evening, as we were cleaning up after dinner, his hand brushed against mine. It was brief, accidental, but my heart reacted before my mind could catch up. I pulled away quickly, but that single moment lingered between us, heavy and unspoken. We never talked about it. We didn't need to talk about it. The silence between us said everything words couldn't. A week later, David left for another business trip. I remember that morning vividly. The air was warm, sunlight spilled through the curtains, and for once, I decided to take a long shower. It was one of those rare moments when I allowed myself to simply breathe. As I stepped out, wrapped in a towel, I heard a soft knock on the door. "Rachel, are you in there?" Ethan's voice was gentle, almost hesitant. I froze for a moment, unsure whether to respond. "Yes," I finally said. "Is something wrong?" "I just need the first aid kit. I cut my hand in the kitchen." My pulse quickened, though I tried to keep my voice steady. "You can come in. It's on the shelf by the mirror." The steam hung heavy in the air as he stepped inside, careful not to look directly at me. But then, in that fleeting second, our eyes met in the mirror. His gaze wasn't bold or invasive. It was conflicted, uncertain, full of questions neither of us dared to ask. He found the kit and murmured a quiet, "Thank you." But before he left, he paused at the door. "Rachel," he said softly, "you always seem so sad when David's not here." The words hit harder than I expected. I wanted to smile, to brush it off, but my throat tightened. "I'm fine," I whispered, though even I didn't believe it. Ethan nodded slowly, but his eyes said otherwise. For a few suspended seconds, the air between us grew heavier, thick with something unspoken, something dangerous. Then he turned and left. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every small sound in the house echoed louder than usual, pulling me back to that moment, the look in his eyes, the quiet tension that clung to the air. I told myself it was wrong, that I was imagining it, that he was just being kind. But the truth was simpler and far more painful. I missed being seen. I missed feeling understood. The next few days passed quietly. We avoided each other's gaze, but every time our paths crossed, there was that same lingering awareness, an invisible line neither of us dared to cross. Yet both of us felt its pull. One evening, while sitting on the porch, Ethan joined me on the porch as the sun dipped low, painting everything in a soft golden haze. For a while, neither of us spoke. The quiet felt heavy but not uncomfortable, just charged, like the air before a storm. Then finally, he broke it. "I know I shouldn't say this," he began, his voice unsteady. "But I can't pretend I don't care about you." My chest tightened. I turned to look at him, fear and confusion flooding through me. "His honesty terrified me more than anything, Ethan," I said quietly. "Don't. Please." He wasn't reckless or demanding. He simply nodded, his voice trembling as he whispered, "I'm sorry. I just needed to say it once." Then he stood and walked away, leaving me there with my heart racing and tears welling in my eyes. Tears I didn't even fully understand. The next morning, David called. He told me he'd be gone for another week. I hung up the phone and sat in the silence, feeling the weight of the empty house press down on me. The walls felt closer somehow, the air heavier. When Ethan came home later that day, we both tried to act normal. Casual smiles, polite words, but the tension was unbearable. Finally, I broke the silence. "Ethan," I said softly, "we can't keep pretending nothing's happening. You didn't do anything wrong, but this, whatever it is, it has to stop before someone gets hurt." He looked at me for a long moment, eyes full of pain and something deeper. "I know," he said finally, "but you've been the only person who's ever really listened to me." I wanted to stay strong, to hold my boundaries, but hearing those words broke something inside me. We both knew there was a line, thin, fragile, and dangerously close to breaking. The connection between us was undeniable, deep, emotional, and yet forbidden all the same. I took a hesitant step closer and rested a hand on his shoulder. "You deserve someone your age," I said softly, my voice trembling. "Someone who can love you freely, without guilt." He smiled, a sad, knowing curve of his lips. "I wish that were true," he murmured. "But no matter what happens, you'll always mean something to me." That night, after he retreated to his room, I sat alone for hours. The house felt unbearably still. I stared at the framed photo of David and me on our wedding day. The pure joy in our smiles, the unspoken promise of forever. And for the first time, I truly understood how quietly love can fade when life becomes too predictable, too routine. A few weeks later, Ethan found a job out of state and moved away. Before he left, he thanked me for changing the way he understood love. What he didn't realize was that he had changed me too. Sometimes infidelity doesn't take the shape of betrayal. Sometimes it's an emotional storm that forces you to face the emptiness you've been ignoring, the parts of your heart you didn't realize had gone silent. I still love David, but I also carry the memory of that forbidden connection, that fleeting closeness that reminded me what it truly means to feel. Love is complicated.